Alright, in this video we're continuing with surface area of prisms and pyramids. This is section 8.7. So we're going to look at one more example, but before we do that, let's look at the surface area of a prism. So this is the total area of both bases and all lateral faces. So as you saw in when we did example B, we had 7 surfaces that we had to calculate because we had the top and the bottom, and then we had the 5 lateral faces. So let's flip to the next page and talk about the surface area of a pyramid before we look at an example. So the surface area of a pyramid is the total area of the base, because a pyramid only has one base. In this picture here, my base would be this square, and all lateral faces. So you have to take this by a case-by-case basis depending on the figure. So let's look at example 2 part F, and we can see the base is a rectangle, so the area of the base is going to be base times height, because that's for a rectangle, and then the area of the lateral faces we're going to calculate using base times height divided by 2. And these B and H's are for each individual face, not for the entire pyramid. So let's go ahead and start with the area of the base. Area of the base. So that's base times height, and the dimensions are 12 and 10. So that's 12 times 10. So that's 120 inches squared. Now, the triangular faces, there's 2 different shapes. I have the front here, the front, and then I also have the back, which is going to be the same, and then I have a left and a right. So this is the right side. So I have 2 different sized triangles. So I'm going to find the area of the front and the back first. Those are just triangles, so that's going to be base, which is 12, times the height, which is 12.1, divided by 2, and then we have a front and a back, so I'm going to multiply that by 2, and that should come out to 145.2 inches squared. Then I have the left and the right, so that's this blue one and the one that matches it on the other side. So area of right and left, so that's also base times height, so the base is 10, and the height of that triangle is here, that's 12.5 divided by 2, so base times height divided by 2 for the area of a triangle, and again I have 2 of those, so I'll multiply by 2, and that should give me 125 inches squared. So if I add all this up, the total surface area, a lot of times we'll write this just as surface area, is 120 plus 145.2 plus 125, which should give us 390.2 inches squared. All right, so try not to memorize a method for solving every one of these. Treat each one as an individual case. Figure out what surfaces you have to find the area of, and then add them all up at the end. All right, we'll see you in the next video. Make sure you get all your questions answered.